Hey, welcome to Discussion Starter 2. What we're doing here is we're talking about risk and responsibility, and specifically how parents can support children taking risk with responsibility. I throw in the word reasonable risk, which means there must be some critical and creative thought and consideration into going into this decision to take a risk. Again, we don't need a 5-year-old to entirely think like a 15 or a 25-year-old or a 50-year-old, but we are teaching children to take reasonable risks and to take responsibility for those risks. We are in the lesson in the online course and on page 10 and 11 in the blue book about risk and responsibility. The question to frame the overall lesson is how, when, and why does a person assume responsibility for things in life? Now, you're encouraged to modify this question, but the real question is when and how and why do we take responsibility for things in life? We're not going to answer this in the next 20-minute discussion, but we are here in Discussion Starter 2 to move from all of our observations of lifelong learning. There's all kinds of learning that happen in life. The Common Core standards for academics and language and communication and mathematics are part of the school world. The family has so much more learning in life, and that's what we do as play-based parents. And specifically in Discussion Starter 2, what these questions are doing for us are focusing our attention on how we model stress and responsibility and all the things we assume in life for the next generation. Now, part of this that's vitally important is a diverse ideals and values that we share with our individual families. What Famplay allows us to do is become aware and clarify many of these values we're doing. It's frustrating in the course as a play-based parent because oftentimes we just want somebody to just tell us, hey, this is what you should do and how you should do it. Well, in Discussion Starter 2, the step here for parents and children to take is assuming the risk with responsibility. And what your task really to do as discussion is to become clear on the reasons and the rationale for these risks we take in life. Discussion Starter 2 focused our attention on lifelong learning, all the kinds of life lessons children learn with interactions with adults and throughout life, right? And we're really focusing on this parent and child interaction. And the other part we're starting to understand as play-based parents is how much we learn as parents with interactions with our child. What can we learn? That was questions of Discussion Starter 1. Discussion Starter 2 focuses on how we are supporting our children to take reasonable risks with responsibility. And one way we're doing it, and we can connect this to the observation and modeling, we praise and we blame. And then we take responsibility too, right? So the questions about this is, what kind of behaviors are generally praised and blamed for? And please use your own language here. But what do we admire in people? What strengths do we see in people? What vices do we criticize people for? What are we frustrated with in terms of what a child's doing, what an adult is doing, what people do in general society? This is discussion starter 2, and it focuses our attention on how we observe our own support. How do we praise and blame and take responsibility in life? How do we, as parents, as play-based parents, experience stress related to these risks and responsibilities? And as parents, we learn to target this support simply by embracing learning alongside our children. This is simple to do in family play and projects. A play situation is virtually a no risk. There's embarrassment, there's certain cues you can push too far, but play is low stress, low responsibility. A family project, or a project in general, assumes work with some risk and responsibility, and reward for praise and blame, and connected to our taking risks and responsibilities. Enjoy discussion starter 2. Again, remember, as play-based parents, there are 8 specific reflective questions in the course to take. When you're done with discussion 2, complete that reflective prompt at the end. It will focus your attention on really supporting this kind of risk and responsibility in your own life. Enjoy. Have a great conversation.